Hello guys, and welcome to the updated 2026 Vela K Bridge Amazon FBA program. So since we created this program not too long ago, things have changed. As you know, with AI, technology, and all the changes we've seen in the economy, and also the same systems we used to work with, we've made some updates to it. We've made updates to the whole program. And because I wanted you to get maximum efficiency and maximum results in the fastest way possible with the least amount of work and the most amount of profit, I made some new classes in addition to the program. These new classes have been based on the events I've been going to, the trade shows I've been going to, the Amazon Accelerate event in 2025, and meeting with the people who work at Amazon, and all the new ways and new changes that have helped us create $1 million or multi-million-dollar company. I want to pass it on to you because I want you to get the maximum chance of also creating a big company. Because if I just leave one little thing out of it, that small thing might be what makes a big company for you, might be like the change maker for you. So I've decided to just put everything in there. There's no stone that's been unturned in this program. Literally everything we do in our own business, all the money I've spent, because after creating the program, I took multiple courses myself. I probably spent over $30,000-$40,000 on taking new programs, and I've implemented what I learned from those into this program. So this program has been a combination of all my years in this business, all my years previous to this business. I had 10 plus years of working at big corporations in Canada, living around Canada. It's all my experiences of going through Amazon suspension, losing money, making money, working in different categories with different products, and spending over $100,000 on courses, on programs, on education, and learning new things, as well as going to many different trade shows and events and talking to many different people. These are people who make hundreds of million dollars a year in their companies, or they do tens of millions of dollars, or they're just smaller scale. And through seeing our students' results, what works for them, what doesn't work for them, it's a combination of everything. So really, it's not like a one-time, education of you learn this, and that's it. It's more like everything I've learned throughout my journey being in business, everything I learned through these educational programs, through making mistakes, through losing money, so you don't have to go through them. So it's very valuable. I hope you go through it with a lot of taking notes and a lot of paying attention, because every little thing has a lot of value in it. Every little thing in this program, I personally had to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to learn, and then I put it in a linear manner where you can follow it A, B, C, D, and it also gets results for you. So the 10 new classes we're adding into this program is, if you're in the mini program, you won't have all of this because this video is going in the mini program and the full program. But if you're in the mini, you will have limited access to the program. Basically, it's like 40% of the main program, maybe a little bit less. If you're in the full program, you have access to everything. And including these new 10 classes. And these new 10 classes are going to include these subjects. One is going to be knowledge update. So knowledge update is going to be based on everything that has changed since we created this program. All the updates of how do you get these documents. For example, before you used to be able to call one of these agencies and let's say like the CRA, and they give you a GST number. Now you have to do it online. So basically everything that our students are giving me as feedback, I've turned into a knowledge update. That's going to be the first class. The second class is going to be business foundations, because the results from our students, the ones that were struggling were because they didn't have the right foundation. And in my company, I really worked hard, long hours, 15, 16, 17-hour days to build the foundation of the business. Because it's kind of like if you're building a residential building, let's say 20 stories, and you haven't built your foundation. So when you build this building, a quick earthquake can make the whole building fall apart, or it might turn out crooked and not straight. and the units might be, not in the best shape, and it's just not going to be a very well built building because you didn't build your foundation. You skipped building the foundation. And in this business, if you don't have your foundation, it no longer works, because with the age of AI and spams and scams and all these things out there, what sets you apart is your company foundation. If you build the right foundation, everything will work. Okay, so the second lesson is on business foundations. The third is equipment warrior. So equipment is really important. Doesn't matter what business you're in. If you're a hairstylist, if you're an electrician, you're a plumber, you're in finance, accounting, whatever you're in, you need equipment. Okay, so if you're sitting in front of your computer and you're working and you have a really terrible chair, not only it's going to make you uncomfortable, which psychologically you're not going to sit there for long because it's uncomfortable. It's hurting your back, it's hurting your shoulders. Even your computer screen, like I just bought a new screen yesterday because I saw the screen I had was too small and I had to keep zooming in. So I bought a big screen and it's made me so much faster, so much more efficient. And a mouse, for example, I used to not like mouses. I really liked my computer, pad where I just move my finger around, but then my hands were getting tired and I was very slow, and I ended up getting a mouse and a keyboard and I became so much faster, and I fell in love with the business because now my equipment is things I like. I have a desk that I can sit down with it. If I get tired of sitting down, I can raise it and I can stand. So I'm not, I'm more comfortable. I can stretch my legs, my body. So your equipment not only helps you do better, be faster, be stronger, and be more efficient, but it motivates you because my keyboard lights up. So every time I'm typing, it's cool because it lights up. And having a big screen or having a nice laptop, a nice mouse, these things all psychologically helps you be more motivated, want to be in your space longer, want to do better work. It makes you, like the business. So equipment has become very, very important, and it's one you should not skip on. It's a really important one. It's not going to cost you that much money, but the outcome you get from it is a lot. So invest in some equipment because this is your work, this is your business, and you should invest in it. Next is money management. So I'm not an accountant by any means. I'm not, I didn't go to accounting school. I don't have any financial degree, but because I've made a lot of money in my life, by the time I was 21, 22, I was already making $100,000 a year, and I bought real estate, I bought cars, I bought watches, I bought everything you can imagine. But 90% of all the money I made, I only put back into my business and back into myself, because you are your main asset. The way you create a $10 million, $100 million company is not by doing something. It's by becoming the person that can do that thing. Okay? Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, all these people are people who can make Tesla, who can make Instagram, who can make Microsoft. You and I probably cannot make Microsoft because we don't have that knowledge base. We don't have the thing we need. So putting money back into yourself is the best thing you can do. That's education, courses, learning more about social media, learning more about Amazon, and managing your money with Amazon is simple, but I just created this module to give you some tips according to my own experience. From what I've seen, our students make money on Amazon. They reach out to me, Ali, what do we do now with our money? What's next? Do we just keep putting it back into the business, or do we go outside of Amazon? So this is kind of a little bit of what I've done with my own money in this business and what I think are good ideas and bad ideas. Next is social media. So social media mastery, this module is probably one of the most important modules, because in today's age and day, if you don't have a social media presence, you don't exist. Okay, I came across this like 2 years ago when I was listening to a podcast. I was at the gym, and this guy, Tai Lopez, I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's been on the internet for a very long time. And 2 years ago, when AI was just coming out, he said two things in his podcast that I took very serious. He said, with AI coming out, and it's getting stronger by the day, There's only two ways you can survive in this economy. Number one is if you're using AI, if you have a business around AI. And number two is if you have a personal brand, because most jobs will be replaced with AI, but a personal brand cannot be replaced by AI. So you, your own brand, or me, Ali Kazami, AI cannot replace me. There's only one of me, there's only one of you. So building a personal brand will last you a lifetime because you cannot be replaced, okay? There's not two Elon Musks, there's only one. His brand, even Trump, there's only one of him. They cannot be replaced. So your personal brand will make you a lot of money, will last you a lifetime, and nothing can, no, what do you call it? No recession, no AI, nothing can replace you. So being on social media, building your brand is very valuable. And if you don't want to be on social media, then you need to build a faceless brand, meaning you're building your company's brand. Again, that cannot be replaced, right? So Amazon cannot be replaced. Amazon is its own brand. Now, Alibaba and AliExpress and Shein, these companies can come in, but those guys are also their own brand. They cannot be another Amazon. That's just one Amazon. Instagram is one Instagram. TikTok is its own brand. YouTube is its own brand. So once you build a really strong brand, it cannot be replaced, okay? And the benefit of you not being in front of the camera like me is if you have a faceless social media, a brand, and you're promoting your brand, you can one day sell that company as a brand. I cannot sell myself, okay? So the downside of me being on camera is I cannot sell myself in the future. But if you have a faceless social media presence, a faceless brand with a logo, and you're really promoting just your company, you can sell that company potentially for millions and millions of dollars. And also with AI and all the scams and everything that's going on, the marketing emails and all these things, the way you stand out is by having a social media presence. And when you're sending out emails or reaching out to brands and suppliers, if you don't have a social media presence, because that's the first thing they look up. The first thing they do is they look you up online, your website, your social media. If you don't have it, you don't exist. They will not trust you, okay? Same thing if you and I are going to a restaurant. The first thing I'll do is I'll look at the reviews, I'll look at their kind of environment, how do their chairs look, is it nice, is it not nice, what's their menu like, what are their prices like, or if I'm buying a jacket or whatever I'm buying, I'll look it up online. If somebody is coming to buy something from me on Facebook Market, I'll look them up online to make sure if I'm giving this person my address or my phone number, it's a real person and I'm not going to get scammed. So social media is very important. Do not take it lightly. Next is AI. So we found out some new ways that we can improve our business with AI. I was not an AI believer at first. Then I started using it, and AI is not gonna replace you or what you know. It's just gonna accelerate your speed. So whatever you know, your life experience, everything you know, AI just helps you be much faster, much more efficient. That's what it does. Don't trust it 100%. Don't listen to everything it says. Just use it as a second opinion, and you can go through the course, the class, and it'll show you how we're using it. Next is invoicing and documentation. This is super important. If you don't know this in this Amazon game, not only it's not good for your business, but it can actually take down your Amazon business. So this invoicing and documentation module is extremely important. It protects your business, right? Because if you don't have the right documents, the right invoicing, and the things Amazon wants from you occasionally, I run into this problem at least once a year during Q4, because in Q4, the last quarter of the year, is where you're most busy, where you make the most money. So Amazon randomly tests people. They test you to make sure you're compliant. So they might ask you for some document or something to make sure you're staying compliant. And if you don't have it, your business can be in trouble. So that's a very important module. Next is Canada to US and US to Canada. This is where you can easily 10x your business, even 100x your business, and we'll explain a little bit more about it during that class. Next is hiring a VA, because I found that a lot of our students, even me, you eventually want to free up your time so you can focus on growing the business. And in this business, there are some tasks that are repetitive, meaning every day you have to spend a few hours doing that same task over and over again, like sending emails, like finding products. And this module is going to be based on handing this off to a very low cost virtual assistant in the Philippines, in India, in Iran, in Bangladesh, wherever you want it. For them, what we pay them is a lot of money because of the currency exchange. So what we pay them is more money than they would make working a job in that country, a lot more money. For us, it's affordable, it's low risk, you don't have to pay insurance, you don't have to pay anything aside from their salary. So go through that module. A VA is going to help you. They're not too reliable, not as reliable as hiring someone here full-time, but it's a really good option to free up your time so you can focus on the tasks that make you money and grow your company. And the last module is moving outside of Amazon. So obviously, we don't want to make selling on Amazon our lifetime career. We don't want to put everything we have into it. You really want to set a goal for yourself. And once you hit it, you want to slowly move out of Amazon. So this just lists a few different ways that you can slowly move out of Amazon, but with the knowledge and experience you gain from it. Okay, so it's not, the point is not, oh, get into Amazon and then also start a, electrician company and then a real estate company. That's not the point. It's really like a tree. So you're becoming a tree. If Amazon is your base for the tree, you need different branches, right? So one is selling on Amazon, one is doing something else, one is doing something else, one is doing something else. So you're building this tree full of branches. So if God forbid in the future, one of them goes bad, you have many other branches. If another goes bad, you have many other ones. Even Amazon, if you search on Google, which I'll show you in this class, Amazon owns a ton of different businesses under Amazon. They own Whole Foods, they own Kindle, they own Amazon Prime, they own a cloud service called AWS, they own Prime, like movies, kind of like Netflix, but for Amazon. They own a ton of different companies under this Amazon tree. So that's what I want you to become. So think bigger than Amazon, starting with Amazon. Amazon is going to be your base. Then you're going to, once you hit your goal, you're going to branch out to different things. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be, but I wanted to really explain to you what these are, what these new modules are, and how it's going to help you in your life and in your business. So I'm really excited to be working with you. Again, whether you're in the mini program or the main program, of course, it's better to be in the main program because, like I said, one little twist is all it takes to change your life. So if there was someone here right now that told me, Ali, I will charge you $100,000, but I'll tell you how you can close these deals and close these brands and suppliers where you go from doing $100,000 a month, $200,000 a month to doing $1 million a month. It's just this little thing we've noticed you're not doing. I would pay that money because I want that little thing. And most of the time, it's a couple little things that will change everything for you. It's not like, oh, you've done everything wrong and you have to destroy this whole building, your business, your foundation, and then build a new one. Most of the time it's, oh, if you just make this tweak and implement this little thing, your business will explode. And that's why even if you're in the mini program, I highly recommend moving slowly into the main program. If you are already in the main program, really take notes of everything, focus, work on your business, go into it with an open mind. And I'm here if you have any questions. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you soon.